All right, so for those of you that were not here when I went over the Germany cultural presentation, or for those of you who may not have caught everything, I am going to record that presentation once again, or at least a version of that presentation, to prepare you for our first summative assessment that has a number of questions on German culture that come directly from this presentation. So please pay close attention. All right, this flag right here in the background is the German flag. It has black, red, and yellow. Rot, sorry about that. Start from the top. Schwarz, Rot, und Gelb. All right, some common stereotypes about Germans. One is that they all wear lederhosen. These are lederhosen that these two young men are wearing here. Leder means leather. Hosen is pants, so they're wearing leather pants. These were commonly worn by farmers historically. Nowadays, they're really just worn at festivals. You'll even see people here in the Milwaukee area at German festivals. There's one in the summer. Also, Oktoberfests are held in the area. You might see some men wearing these traditional lederhosen. Another stereotype is that women all wear dirndls. This is a traditional dress that's, again, not commonly worn except at festivals. That all German eat brezeln, or pretzels. And you can't really tell from this picture, but this pretzel right here is larger than your hand. They make them pretty big. That all Germans drink beer. While Germans do like to drink beer, not all of them do. That's a stereotype. And that all Germans are Nazis. So these are all stereotypes that are commonly applied to Germans. A stereotype is a preconceived notion about a group of people, and these are some of the stereotypes about Germans. In reality, however, Germans dress just like we do here in the US, really, quite similarly. Most Germans do like to have sausages. That's kind of common throughout Germany. They have great sausage there. Germans also make good wine and like to drink wine. And they have a modern democracy. The Nazi days are a thing of the past. They have one of the best functioning democracies in the world. Some important leaders throughout German history. First, this guy right here, you may recognize him. Adolf Hitler was the leader of the Nazi Party up to and during World War II, responsible for the killing of millions of people, including around 4 to 5 million Jews. This guy right here is Otto von Bismarck. He was a German leader during the time of monarchy when there were still kings and queens. He helped Germany gain a position of prominence politically in Europe and led to what was then called the Second German Reich, the Second German Empire. And the, sorry, let me back up here real quick. Adolf Hitler and the Nazis referred to their empire, or what they were trying to build, as the Third German Reich. So with Otto von Bismarck, that was the Second German Reich, when Germany gained a lot of power politically. This guy right here is Martin Luther. He broke away from the Catholic Church for practices that he criticized about that religion, and was a prominent leader of the Protestant Reformation that started really all Protestant religions that we have today, including Lutheranism, which is named after him. This woman right here is Angela Merkel. She is the current Chancellor of Germany, widely considered to be the most powerful woman in the world, considering that Germany is probably the most powerful country within the European Union, and she was recently re-elected to her 4th term as German Chancellor. All right, I won't get into this German timeline here, we'll skip that for now, but this picture is of the Brandenburger Tor in Berlin, and it used to be that nobody could approach this monument following World War II once the Berlin Wall was built, not too long thereafter. The Berlin Wall separated Berlin, the city of Berlin, which is a city in northern Germany, into 2 parts, east and west. And the wall used to run right by here. If anybody got near the wall, they'd be shot by men that were up on a watchtower. If you walk through the street just behind here, if I remember right, there are bricks in the street that they've put there to mark where the Berlin Wall used to run, but now it's a free and open city. And there are still sections of the Berlin Wall, however, that stand in this city. Obviously not at this place, you can't see the wall there, but in some other parts of Berlin you can still see parts of that wall standing. Some German food. Here are some pictures of some German dishes that I really just selected for some of the things that I like, but things that are fairly common in Germany. Right up here in the top left corner, that's sausage and sauerkraut. Down here in the bottom right corner is a German food that's very popular here in Wisconsin as well. That's Bratwurst, which Brat means grilled, Wurst means sausage, so those are grilled sausage. This over here in the bottom left corner is Black Forest cake, or Schwarzwaldtorte. The Black Forest is a forest in the southwestern part of Germany, and that's where that cake comes from. This up here in the top right corner is Wiener Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel is actually originally from the Austrian capital of Vienna, which in German is Wien. Wiener Schnitzel is also a popular food in Germany. It's a veal cutlet that's pounded out and breaded and fried. Up here at the top, obviously, is bread. Germans are well known for their bread. They make all different types of bread that we don't have here in the States, and that's something that I really enjoy when I go there. Down here in the bottom is Schinken, which is the German version of prosciutto, which is a salted and cured pork product. The difference between the Italian prosciutto and the German Schinken is only that the Germans smoke their meat. Alright, so a lot of the stereotypes, or let's say several of the stereotypes that we talked about at the beginning about Germans, that they all wear lederhosen, the men all wear lederhosen, the women wear dirndl, that they all like to eat pretzels and drink beer. While beer is actually fairly universal throughout Germany, those other things are all parts of Bavarian culture. Bavaria is a state in southern Germany. So typically when Americans think of Germany, Germans, German culture, they think of things that really only come from Bavaria. In the rest of the country, people don't wear lederhosen, they don't wear dirndls. In much the same way, when Germans think of Americans, they think of people with cowboy hats, cowboy boots, big belt buckle, which can be associated with the American state of Texas, which is also in the South. So that's an interesting parallel between the two cultures. We'll skip watching this video for now, but I'll share the presentation with you. You can watch it if you like. This is just kind of a stereotypical view of Germans, which really is just Bavarians, and even Bavarians don't act this silly. Not all the time, I should say. All right, Germany won the World Cup in 2014. The World Cup is the World Championship of soccer. It is played every 4 years. Outside of the U.S., soccer is the most popular sport in most countries, I think it's safe to say, and it's the most popular sport in Germany for sure. They won in the World Cup championship over Argentina by a margin of 1-0. Some great minds that have come out of Germany. This first man is Ludwig van Beethoven. He was a famous German composer who was deaf near the end of his life. He wrote some of his most famous compositions, including his Ninth Symphony, while he was deaf. So it was music that just existed in his head. He was never actually able to listen to it. This man over here is Friedrich Nietzsche. He was a German philosopher, one of my favorite philosophers. And this guy who's you see around, maybe the most recognizable. Up here, this is Albert Einstein. He was a famous theoretical physicist, changed the way that we view the world and how it works. Some common German holidays. First off is Weihnachten. Weihnachten is Christmas, and this is a picture of a traditional German Weihnachtsmarkt, which is a Christmas market. Ostern sounds a little bit like our word for it is Easter. Frohe Ostern means Happy Easter. Silvester is the German name for New Year's Eve. Here you see some fireworks on Silvester. And Tag der Deutschen Einheit is the day that Germans celebrate for the reunification of Germany, the day that the Berlin Wall came down. And here you see people celebrating on the evening that the wall did actually come down. That's a holiday that Germans celebrate every year. All of these here are fairy tales that were originally written or adapted by the Brothers Grimm. Up here at the top, obviously, is Sleeping Beauty. Next we have Snow White. In the middle, Rapunzel. Up here in the top right corner, Little Red Riding Hood. And in the bottom right corner, Hansel und Gretel, all Brothers Grimm fairy tales. Many of these have been adapted by Disney, however, not all movies adapted by Disney are Brothers Grimm fairy tales. This man right here is Fatih Akin. He is a famous German director. These are some of my favorite movies of his. These three here, Soul Kitchen, Kebab Connection, and Im Juli are all comedies. Im Juli is a romantic comedy. And up here in the top right corner, Gegen die Wand. The English translation is Head On. This is a drama, a fantastic movie done by Fatih Akin. German hip-hop. These are a couple of my favorite German hip-hop artists. Here on the left is Umse. In the bottom right corner is Curse. Here are some of my favorite albums by Umse. Kunst für sich, which means art for itself. Hawaiianischer Schnee, which means Hawaiian snow. And Wachstum, which means growth, or yeah, let's go with growth. And Curse's best album, hands down in my opinion, is an album called Feuerwasser, Firewater. There's a song that we listened to in class and went over the translation mention. The video is available on YouTube if you're interested in checking it out, or embedded within this presentation, which I'll share with you. A couple of my favorite quotes from Umse and Curse. Wenn du irgendwas verändern willst, veränder dich auch. If you want to change something, change yourself too. And from Curse, das war's von mir, jetzt können die anderen reden. That's it from me, now the others can speak. Thank you very much for listening, and let me know if you have any questions or would like to learn more about German culture.